A smoking gun email discovered by the House Judiciary Committee showing that the Obama Justice Department actively tried to prevent settlement payouts from going to conservative groups, steering those settlements instead to liberal groups. One person who's upset at all this is Texas Attorney General Ken Paxton. He joins us now. General Paxton, good to see you. You don't often find a smoking gun in these investigations, but you did this time. And I just want to read an email from an Obama Justice Department email from an acting senior counselor for access to justice. This was from July 2014. It says concerns include not allowing Citi, and I assume that's Citibank, to pick a statewide intermediary like Pacific Legal Foundation, which does conservative property rights legal services. So when a company was fined by the Obama Justice Department, they would tack on to that fine these payments to liberal groups, but they steered them away from conservative groups. What are you going to do about that?
Well, it's pretty outrageous, and I think that you're going to see Congress pass legislation to stop this from going forward in the future. Attorney General Sessions had already stopped this at the Justice Department, I think in June or July. And so hopefully Congress, through legislation being pushed by Representative Goodlatte, will stop this from ever happening again.
Just another couple of examples. Gibson Guitars had to pay a big fine to the government for stuff that was disputed by a lot of people back during the Obama administration. $50,000 of what they had to pay out went to the National Fish and Wildlife Foundation. Had nothing to do with what they were fined for. Bank of America had to pay big fines, millions in fines, because of what happened in the financial crisis. They were forced to give hundreds of thousands to La Raza, to the Urban League and other liberal groups. So this is kind of a campaign by the Obama administration to feed into the liberal nonprofits.
Absolutely. You're talking apparently billions of dollars. I've seen up to $6 billion. And not only are they steering it to liberal groups and not conservative groups, they are actually taking money from victims. And they were actually incentivizing paying out these sums of money to liberal groups versus paying victims of these settlements.
Well, what I don't understand is why don't you just use the cash that the government gets from these fines to pay off the debt? Very simple.
Well, and that's the way these settlement agreements are supposed to work. Obviously, this was a way of end-running Congress. If Congress wasn't funding these groups, then they would end-run it by having bureaucrats in the Department of Justice fund the projects that supposedly Congress is supposed to be in charge of funding.
All right. General Paxton, something that's near and dear to your heart is illegal immigration. It's at a 45-year low right now. According to the acting chief of U.S. Customs and Border Protection, I guess the messaging by President Trump, because we don't have the wall yet, but the messaging was enough to beef up security, really have an effect.
Well, the messaging has been excellent, but it's more than that. It's also President Trump letting these Border Patrol agents and custom enforcement and local officers to do their job. I've spoken with all of these groups along the border, and each time I talk to them, they're grateful for the opportunity to be able to do their job. They were not allowed to do that over the previous 8 years.
How were they stopped from doing their job?
They were basically just not allowed to arrest the people coming across the border. There were many people that they just let through, and I've just met with them privately, and they are grateful. That's why the numbers are down. They're actually doing their jobs. They're allowed to do their job. They're encouraged to do their jobs, and that's why the numbers are coming down.
Extraordinary that it wasn't done before. General Paxton, great to see you. Thank you for coming in. Appreciate it.